There's a saying in ancient poems, "Fate has its own plans, all one can do is be themselves and keep their heart free from mortal desires." However, this rule can only be used to restrict mortals. At 16 he possessed a heavenly defying body and have cultivated greater perfections with the heavenly realm. Being such a gifted warrior, he arrogantly believes that fate can't do anything to him. His name is Zhang Ruochen, the only son of one of the emperors of the Kunlun field, Emperor Ming. Behind him a woman says your sword skills have improved again. Her name is Chi Yao, the daughter of one of the 9 emperor of the Kunlun field. Emperor Qing, she's a blonde beauty with green emerald eyes. Also she is Zhang's childhood sweetheart and fiancée. They grew up and practice martial arts together. They're constantly told they're the perfect match and their marriage will be the hottest topic in the field of martial arts. Zhang greets her, but he had no clue she was visiting. Suddenly a sword pierced through his chest. She removes the sword and looks down at him with blood in her cheeks. Zhang asked why. "I loved you with all my heart. Why did you kill me?" Yao merely smirks and remains silent. She turns around, leaving him for dead. Zhang's surroundings fade and he finally understands that the person he once loved is no more. He suddenly opens his eyes. He's no longer the genius he was 800 years ago. He is now a teenager under the care of his mother, concubine Lin, wife of the Yunwu commandery prince. She has always worried about him. Because he's always been sick since he was born. Currently he was so sick he couldn't get out of bed. If something were to happen, she doesn't know what she would do. Unknowing to her, the real owner of the body died 3 days ago. Lin gives him medicine to drink. To Zhang she should have been a stranger. But from the moment he woke up she has been taking great care of him non-stop. In his past life he never met his mother. He's happy that he could experience the warmth of a mother. For 3 nights straight he's been having nightmares and calling out the name Chi Yao. Lin questions him, who is she? At that moment someone yells, "What are you doing?" Outside the Jade Palace, maidservant Yun blocks the path of a squad of men. One of them punch her in the gut, causing her to hit the pier and cough up blood. He is revealed to be the 8th prince. He says, "You're asking for death." Lin opens the palace door and rushed towards Yun embracing her. Lin glances at the 8th prince, and declares that he can't break into the Jade Palace even if he's a prince. He smirks and proclaims concubine Lin and 9th brother are to move to Ze Side Hall by the queen's command. If that is the case they'll move by tomorrow. However, the queen wants them out immediately. Because she wants to move in that night, Lin panics. Zhang is fragile and it's getting later and colder outside. She's terrified of what could happen. However, the 8th prince feels that many poor people in the world are not worth helping. If 9th brother is that weak, then what's the point of him staying alive? Lin is shocked and yells, "He's your brother." Zhang says, "Don't beg them. We'll move out now." Lin requests he goes back to bed. Zhang responds, "We don't need to beg anyone. One day we'll come back." Lin sees his resolve and cries. They leave together with Zhang covering himself with a blanket. In his past life he never experienced such bitter moments. It's obvious concubine Lin has lost her power. It'll be difficult for them to get back on their feet in the Yunwu Commandery Prince's palace. They'll need respect, resources and connections, because in this cruel world the strong receive everything. And the weak who can't fight back will only find themselves walking the path of death. Tomorrow is the ceremony of worship. Zhang assures his mother he'll get a sacred mark at the ceremony and become a warrior to prove himself. The sacred mark are qualifications given by the gods for humans to practice martial arts. People who have never received sacred marks will never cultivate genuine qi. As such, they can never become leaders of heaven or earth. The 8th prince obtained the sacred mark when he was 10. Now he's a young warrior in the advanced stage of the Yellow Realm. But when a person turns 16, it becomes almost impossible for people to receive the sacred mark. Even if he obtained the sacred mark, little achievements can be made, due to the fact of missing out on their best years. Nevertheless, Lin assures her son she believes in him. Lin says he should get some rest and attend the ceremony. Lin asked, "Who's the Chi Yao you've been calling in your sleep?" Zhang says, "You must have misheard me." Lin says that's good, and informs him to never mention the two words Chi Yao, not even in his dreams, since that's the name of Empress Chi Yao, who unified the 9 empires and built the first central empire. It's impolite if someone caught Zhang saying her name. He could be subjected to death. There's no need for his mom to worry because from now on he'll be Chi Yao's nightmare. The Yunwu Commandery is one of the many commanderies in the eastern field of the Kunlun field. Every year the commendations pay tribute and tax to the Central Empire. The sovereign who ruled the commandery was called the Commandery Prince. The ceremony of worship is the Yuwu Commandery nationwide ceremony. During the ceremony, children would wait to receive the sacred mark. The 8th prince sees him and taunts him, saying he's an embarrassment who won't ever get a mark. The 6th prince explains that the people have said that all the king's children are unique, but all of them have their sacred mark except for the 9th prince. "Why don't you just die?" 8th prince intervenes and says, "Forget it, although we all have father's blood that makes it easy to receive our mark. It's different for commoners. Who knows if he's actually our brother?" Zhang keeps composed. He's not strong enough to fight them, and bickering is a waste of time. His father gave him a white spinel on the day he turned 16 in his previous life. Surprisingly, it's still with him after 800 years. Minister of the Commandery announced the beginning of the ceremony. Bells are rang and a pig blood is spilled. Then a light shoots out of a cannon and goes towards the crowd. The son of a general is the first to receive his mark. Then everyone else gets theirs. Their parents praise them. The ceremony is about to end and Zhang thinks he won't receive one. Suddenly a light hits his forehead. Everyone looks at him surprised that he could receive a mark at 16. As for his brothers, they think their eyes are playing tricks on them. The old guy informs the queen of the situation. She orders him to bring Zhang to her. Lin holds Zhang and praises him. The old man informs her the queen requests Zhang's presence. Lin quickly becomes defensive. Seeing this, Zhang thinks the queen is a tricky person. He says, "Let's go, mom." The king is refining in seclusion, so she is in charge for that year. The queen asked the minister if he has evaluate the mark. He explains that he can't find anything that matches the 9th prince's mark. If it can't be evaluated, it is most likely a mark without class. The queen announced that the 9th prince won't achieve much. He'll receive 1 bottle of marrow washing liquid. Lin exclaims, when the 7th prince obtained his mark he received 12 bottles, so why does Zhang receive 1? The queen retorts, the 7th prince receive a 7th class mark at 3 years old. They cannot be compared. The 8th prince supports the queen by saying the 7th prince obtained the queen's powerful bloodline. Both the stability and prosperity of the Yunwu Commandery depends on him. And that the fingertip of the 7th brother is 1,000 times more important than the 9th brother's life. Lin says the 8th prince got 4 bottles when he unlocked his sacred mark. The queen explains the more talent a person has, the more resources he'll need. Since the 9th prince is the least talented, it's reasonable. But, the queen threatened to beat her again. Zhang surprised that his mother has been beaten. His mom has endured many hardships, so Zhang will do his best to help her rise to power. The 9th prince snatched the bottle and left. 3 months from now will be the royal family assessment. They believe no matter what Zhang does, he won't be able to break through the channel phase and will disgrace himself in front of His Majesty. Too bad for them, but Zhang has no plans of disappointing anyone. The martial arts practices are divided into yellow, black, earth and heaven, which correspond to the yellow realm, the black realm, the heavenly realm and the earth realm respectively. Each realm is split into several smaller states: the initial stage, the mid-stage, the advanced stage, dawn state, medium state, final state and the completion state, after building the meridians and drilling the genuine qi in the initial stage. The mid-stage and the advanced stage of the yellow realm. The power in the body would become stronger. Every time one advances to the next realm, their power greatly increase. Most warriors in the advanced stage have cultivated a technique called the strength of the bull. Every stage that has broken through, the power of the bull has increased. Lin watches her son. Seeing him so focus on his cultivation, decided not to bother him. All she can do is provide the best cultivating resources and environment within her power. Zhang is practicing exercises from the scripture of the Emperor Ming's empire aid. The absorption rate is naturally fast, but the speed is still too slow. He wished he had a spiritual crystal. This is a spinel form by spiritual qi. It could be a normal spiritual crystal found in a lode under the earth or acquired from the body of a savage beast. It's extremely expensive. Suddenly he recollects something and remove a crystal from his pocket. Light from the crystal shines in his sacred mark. Words appeared reading time and space. He has injected genuine qi into the white spinel hundreds of times. But this is the first he sees words. Zhang wonders if his sacred qi is connected to nature, which correspond with time and space spinel. In nature 90% of crystals don't have individual essences, however some have special attributes. Crystals that have the same mark as their owner can help them improve rapidly. However, it's the first time Zhang have heard of time and space. Even gods must obey the rules of time and space. At that moment the crystal glowed intensely. Zhang immediately throws it. A portal appears which sucks him in and teleports him. He land face first in concrete. Luckily he became stronger than before. If it was the fragile body he would have been done for. He sees a scroll on, tries to pick it up. After a bit of struggling, he realized it wouldn't budge and went to read the book instead. The book resonates with his mark and the same mark appeared on the book. The book is the transcript of Saint Monk Zumi, the last possessor of the space and time spinel. According to the transcript, only 2 people have obtained the mark. Now including Zhang, that makes 3. The saint monk died over 100,000 years ago. Zhang is currently inside the internal space of time and space spinel. 3 days in there is equal to 1 day outside. He flips the page and reads a chapter that says reach the dawn stage of the yellow realm. Zhang believes some mysterious exercises must be recorded in the scroll and will be unlocked at dawn stage. Zhang's stomach growls. After becoming a warrior, a normal diet can no longer fulfill him. His mother says, now that you've become a warrior you shouldn't eat normal food. She gives him 10 blood pills. If he needs more she'll find other solutions. 10 blood pills cost 50 silver coins. Zhang asked where she got the money. Yun revealed Lin traded her favorite golden hairpin for 10 blood pills in the pill market. Lin gives her a annoyed look. Lin says, it doesn't matter if I sell all my jewels, it's worth it as long as you can be a warrior. Zhang promised to be a real warrior and protect her. But he has secretly already become a warrior. However, if the queen or princes discovered this, they would definitely find a way to frame them. He must get stronger. Later on, Yun combs her mistress' hair and explains that a warrior not only needs blood pills, but martial arts to open as meridians. Lin is aware. But exercises of the lowest level cost over 500 silver coins, and that's way out of her budget. Also, with the queen in charge, I doubt they'll receive permission to enter the library. Lin only sees one option: to ask the Lin family for help. But she fell out of the Lin family grace, so they might not help Zhang. But Lin is willing to get on her knees and beg for forgiveness. Although what happened wasn't her fault. 3 days later, Zhang uses a new technique. galloping elephant, and shatters a boulder. Zhang had practiced 9 days in the internal space and is making great progress. His qi pool is full, so he needs more liquid bone marrow to develop the second meridian. Yun appears and informs him his mother has been searching for him. Zhang says he came for some fresh air and asks if her wounds are getting better. Yun says lowly servants like her cannot afford medicine and it will take another 3 months. Yun is happy Zhang thought of her and asked him to follow her. They're going outside of the palace. Zhang asked to where. Yun explains to see Ning Shan. You haven't seen her in a while, you must be happy. Zhang, judging by the way she spoke, the original owner must have had some kind of special connection to that person. Zhang wonders why his mom is subjected to constant bullying in the commandery prince's mansion if she's from such an eminent family. There must be a story behind it. Lin wishes Zhang the best in his pursuit of Ningshang. Since he has a sacred mark, they'll have more to talk about. He better not waste his opportunity. Zhang, on the other hand, still has no clue who she is. The servants escort concubine Lin to the leader of the Lin family. Yun informs Zhang that Ningshang must be in the drill coliseum. Feeling Ningshang rarefied power, Zhang realizes it's the realm of the sword following the heart. Her martial arts skills are at the medium state of the Yellow Realm. The crowd mocks him, saying they've heard he had a crush on Ningshang and wonders what his reaction will be when he hears of her engagement to the 7th prince. Meanwhile, Lin is begging her elder brother for a martial art book to help his nephew. He is enraged that she would bring up kinship to him. 3 years ago he pleaded with her to save her nephew. But she didn't. He orders her to leave. Lin falls to her knees and asks to see her father. Unfortunately, their father went to Omen Ridge and cannot be reached. He then informs Lin of Ningshang's marriage to the 7th prince. And warns her to tell Zhang to stay away from her. The host was very fond of Ningshang and would be incredible sad if he was alive. Lin asked why the 7th prince. He explains 7th prince is a genius and no one will be able to catch up to him. He'll benefit the Lin family immensely. Lin asked if Ningshang will be happy to get engaged for the benefit of the family. He then reveals that it was Ningshang herself who made the decision. At that moment Ningshang approaches Lin and says, I haven't seen you for a long time, cousin. I've heard you've obtained a sacred mark. It's a blessing now you can cultivate and be free from sickness. These two were once close, but Ningshang believes they're from different worlds now. Zhang responds, I'll practice as hard as I can and do my best to catch up to you. Ningshang takes his words as proof that he still wants to chase her. She finds him annoying, so she says condescendingly, you shouldn't make inappropriate requests and bite off more than you can chew, otherwise you will suffer from your actions. Zhang wonders why the former host would like such an arrogant person. Ningshang reveals that in 3 months she and the commandery 7th prince will be engaged. The bystanders watched the scene with great anticipation. Zhang looks her in the eyes, turns around and says, congratulations, we're doubly related from now on. Ningshang can't believe it. She yells, don't you want to know why? He responds, I'll be present during your engagement ceremony to offer my congratulation. If there's nothing else, I'll go see my mother now. Zhang then sees his mother crying. He holds her shoulder and asks what's wrong. She says it's nothing, let's go home. His uncle arrives and presents him with a book containing a set of skills called the Tay formula, although it's not advanced. He also presents him with 2 marrow washing liquid. Lin's mood lights up and tells Zhang to accept. Zhang isn't a fool and realized that his mother must have endured great humiliation to receive the practice skill. However, Zhang walks away with his mom saying they don't need the Lin's family charity. Ningshang noticed his change. Her father believes because he's obtained a sacred mark it's natural for him to become a little unyielding. Later that night Zhang ponders a way to make money. Zhang then realized he could write down the martial art techniques he's read in his past life and sell it. Martial techniques are classified into 5 stages: human, spiritual, ghost, king and god. The skills he has are holy level in the entire Kunlun, so they can't be sold. But he remembers some other low-class techniques and exercise. But even the low-class martial techniques would stir things up in Yuwu commentary. Martial techniques cannot be easily copied, but with Zhang current knowledge drawing a mid-class technique of the spiritual stage his limit. The lowest class technique he remembers is the lowest class of the spiritual stage. But in Yuwu it can be considered a top technique, even among the Lin family. Later on, a guard asked Zhang where he's going at this hour. He responds in a cold tone, "I want to go to Lin's mansion to see Ningxiang." When he's only a short distance away, they disrespect him, saying he's a fool to chase Ningxiang and he would be dead 1,000 times over if not for his father. The martial market is divided into 5 areas: the pill market, weapon market, beast market, slave market and central auction. The martial market determines the ups and downs of the Yuwu commentary, so the commentary is strict with its market. Only warriors or nobility had the qualifications to enter. A beautiful attendant greets him. Zhang says, "I want to meet the superior deacon of the central auction." The attendant asked him to wait and wondered who Zhang could be, since he just arrived and immediately wanted to meet the superior deacon. When the deacon arrived, he instinctively noticed Zhang's shoes. The Kylin gold glided boots that only people in the royal family can wear. Zhang deliberately wore the shoes to impress others because the sword technique would obviously be coveted by others and he's not strong enough to defend himself. He shows them his martial techniques book and they excitedly say the starting bid will be 200,000 silver coins. But the buyers must first verify if it's real or else the auction would be invalid. A few hours later, the attendant informs him that the item was purchased by the Lin family head for 1,240,000 silver coins. Zhang is surprised to hear this. At that moment, the deacon introduced the Lin's family head to him. The Lin family's head smiles seeing Zhang boots, thinking he's an important figure. The head introduces himself as Lin Fengshen. Zhang gives him the martial techniques to verify. Fengshen thinks the technique was made by someone of the heavenly realm. Fengshen thanks him and takes his leave. Ningxiang and Fengshen found him familiar. But Fengshen informs Ningxiang he's not ordinary because the ink is still wet, meaning the graphics were drawn that day. Anyone capable of that must be a superior of the sacred realm. Ningxiang is shocked, not even her grandpa has reached that level. She inquires and why he needed gold. Fengshen explains that the royal family doesn't practice the sacred sword skill. They decided not to investigate further, they wouldn't want to offend anyone of the heavenly class. Meanwhile, Zhang has deposit 1,240,000 in his VIP card. Bought spiritual crystal and took 8,000 silver coins. Then he bought a lot of expensive items needed for cultivation. On regenerative ointment, Zhang appears late in the night and meets Yun and gives her the regenerative ointment. The ointment is expensive, so she asked him where he got the money. Zhang says it's a secret, don't tell mom. Yun think he has received a great opportunity and will be a superior of martial arts in the future. Suddenly Zhang asked her why the relationship was broken with the Lin family 3 years ago. In the past Zhang was always sick, so they kept it a secret. But now that he has a sacred mark, she'll tell him. The Lin's family great genius Lin Chunu, his Zhang cousin and eldest son of the head of the Lins. At 17 he completed the Yellow Realm, but 3 years ago he offended an even greater genius. He was crippled and sent to the celestial prison. The Lin's family is quite powerful. But they cannot stand before the seventh prince, the brightest star of the Yuwu commandery. Compared to him, anyone else would be lackluster. After that, the head of the Lins begged concubine Lin to appeal to the commandery prince. The Lin family was willing to pay any price. Lin tried to meet the commandery prince, but was blocked by the queen. They argue and she was flagged 30 times. After it was over, she was at death's gate. After that, Chunu punishment was decided. He became the seventh prince's eunuch, meaning castrated servant. It was a huge humiliation for the Lin's family. Yun is confused and the reason why Feng Shen married his daughter off to the seventh prince. Zhang explains the Lin family needs to repair their bad relationship, and since Chunu is a servant of the prince, the relationship probably isn't so bad. The marriage could have been planned by Chunu. Zhang nervously rubbed his head and says, "These are all guesses, let's get some rest." Yun thinks the sacred mark has opened doors for him. And Lin would be delighted to know. That night Zhang trained intensely to open the third meridian and break through to the mid-stage of the Yellow Realm. The scripture of Emperor Ming opened up 36 meridian. In Zhang's past life he opened 33 and was already invincible. As for Chi Yao, she only opened 31. A eminence power is emitted from his body. But he succeeded. Now he must consume qi pills to reach the advanced stage of the Yellow Realm. Zhang lost 70% of the pill spirit, since he can't absorb it all. But luckily he has money to burn. It's not enough, he'll need to bathe in refining powder to strengthen his body's health, or else he won't be able to use genuine qi to its fullest extent. A few hours later he takes the bath. It was so extreme he felt like his body was being reshaped. The internal space gave him 3 times more time to practice. In just 10 days he reached the mid-stage of the Yellow Realm, which is equivalent to a month in the time-space. The medical bath was effective. Afterwards Yun knocks on the door. She has retrieved Lin's jewelry as instructed. Zhang orders her to buy back anything Lin sells again. He makes her leave and guard the door for the night. Sometime later he successfully reached the advanced stage of the Yellow Realm. He then tests the level of his new power and shatter a boulder. Yun is truly proud and says, "You may be more talented than the seventh prince." The next day he goes to buy pills and meets Mo Hanlin, the Dan owner of the store. Zhang orders a large quantity of pills that leads Hanlin to believe he's of high status. 80,000 silver coin, that's how much it cost. Since he bought so much he received a discount. Zhang exclaims, "I'll buy all my pills from you in the future." Hanlin beams, then inquires if he needs a weapon. Zhang says he has a good eye. Hanlin ordered his subordinate to bring him to a branch where the boss's wife is in charge. The man gets scared because it is rumor she can steal a man's soul at first glance. After a little persuasion he directs Zhang to the woman. The woman is regarded as a hot demon who can seduce any man, and she's married 7 bosses who died on the wedding night. And she took everything over. In Weapon City the owner Qi Yan says she's tired and cannot be bothered to meet the buyer, thinking he's an old man. A servant informs her he's only a teen. Suddenly she feels energized to meet him. Zhang is in the dining hall when this deadly seductress enters, and I'm already seduced. Sadly Zhang has a strong mentality against seduction. She escorts Zhang to the armory, which no man has ever entered a place alone with her and came out intact. Qin says if he needs anything just ask, referring to her melons. Zhang notices a broken sword that was gifted to him 800 years ago. Qin gets jealous that a beauty is in his present and he's paying attention to the sword. She leans in his back, and skillfully touch the inside of his shirt. At that moment Zhang felt his soul disappearing. She whispered in his ears seductively, "Don't you want something else?" Zhang buys the sword knowing he won't be able to resist any further, runs away. He may have gotten away, but in the future there will be fun." Meanwhile, the eighth prince is trying to use as non-existent risen a girl. However, she only came to meet outstanding people of the city, including the seventh prince. The eighth prince then looks around and sees Zhang and notices his weapons. He believes Zhang is playing a white boy for Qin. The eighth prince threatened to break his leg if he did anything disgraceful. With only a few words from Qin, the eighth prince finally shut up. They look at Zhang strangely. Realizing this, he quickly leaves. Qin wishes him well and tells him to come back often. On his way home, Zhang fuses two swords together. It became 100 pounds heavier and hard to control. He added 2 inscription ice and lighting, then trained relentlessly. 2 months later, the eighth prince broke through to the small stage of the Yellow Realm. His mother, Lady Xiao, says your father will definitely reward you for your hard work. The eighth prince then says Zhang will make him look good, because he hasn't managed to become a warrior. As for Ningxiang, she has mastered the sword technique of the spiritual realm, due to her long cultivation of the heart technique. Before the age of 20, there are only 10 people in the city who can reach the level of sword move with the heart. Ningxiang is only 15. Her future seems bright. Also, Zhang has broken through to the small Yellow Realm after practicing for a month in the time space. Zhang practiced the strength of his power and realize incomparable to 8 oxen. On the day of the year-end exam, he informs Yun he has broken through to the small Yellow Realm, and have only opened 10 meridians. Yun informs him that only the highest genius can open 8 meridians in the small stage of the Yellow Realm. The seventh prince only opened 10 in the Yellow stage and became famous. She assured him she would keep it a secret, and warns him to be more careful. She then assists him to change into royal robe. Zhang asked if his mother will attend. She responds she'll definitely go, but she's not aware you'll take the test. After Zhang was dressed, Yun says he truly looks like a prince more than the others. They then depart for the royal martial arena. The queen informs His Majesty that the seventh prince sent a letter half a month ago that he won't return due to an issue at hand. The queen then states at his level it's meaningless for him to undergo the exam. His Majesty is disappointed. Without the seventh prince there won't be much to look forward to. The eighth prince's mother reveals that the ninth prince got his sacred mark 3 months ago. His Majesty inquired why Lin didn't inform him. Lin states she didn't want to disturb his seclusion. He excitedly exclaims, "Bring the seventh prince to me." The eighth prince stated that the ninth prince is yet to arrive. He must think things are different now. What arrogance. Zhang makes a dramatic entrance and says it's impolite to talk behind someone's back. Zhang walks past his annoying brother, then greets his father as His Majesty. The onlookers were shocked that he would call him Your Majesty. The eighth prince thinks Zhang is asking for trouble. His Majesty looks at him with an angry face. The queen yells, "How dare you? Are you not acknowledging him as your father?" Lin dropped on her knees that should be hard like iron from the amount of times she does it. Lin says he made a mistake because of carelessness. Zhang says defiantly, "I didn't say anything wrong. You have taught me nothing and I've grown up in a poor condition. A husband should have 3 qualities: gratitude, affection and morality. But when my mother was beaten by the queen, you had no affection for her. She's suffered for years. You had no gratitude. On a cold winter night we were banished to the cold palace. You had no morality. With what you've done, am I wrong to call you Your Majesty?" The room was silent and the servants prostrate themselves. His Majesty looks at the queen and asked who gave the order. Although it was the queen's order, I can't dare reveal that.
The eighth prince and his mom prostrate themselves and his mom took the blame upon herself. His Majesty asked, "Just you?" She replied, "Yes." In a rough tone he says, "Since you want to shoulder the burden alone, you must reside in the side hall from now on."
She faints, the eighth prince holds her and calls for help. His Majesty proudly says, "It looks like you've become a true warrior. For your courage and uprightness." His Majesty forgave him and asked if he wants to join the year-end assessment. He says of course. The king is proud and says, "As expected of my son, you're bold. The year-end assessment begins now. Hold on a minute, what's happening in the audience looks suspicious." Hanlin says, "The royal family has sent invitations to you every year and you've never attended. How come you've came this year?" She replies, "I've met someone interesting. Naturally I want to learn more about him." The truth is she's curious about where he got the money. Since concubine Lin lost her favor and he was always sickly for years. The first round begins. The lightest stone tray is 100 kilograms and the largest is a 1000 kilograms. The princess lifts a 100 kilograms and throws it in the ground. The princess acquired her sacred mark at 4 years old. It's impressive she can lift a 100 kilograms. The match is in order of age from youngest to oldest. Next up is Lin, who yells "Rise!" and lifts a 1000 kilograms stone tray with one arm. The people say the Lin family have birthed another genius. His Majesty inquires who she is. The queen says her name is Ningshang and she's from the Lin family. "I have thoughts of getting her engaged to the seventh prince." His Majesty faintly remembers her, but knows she was in good terms with Zhang when they were children. He wanted them to marry, but things fell through 3 years ago. The queen says with her talent how could she still fall for the ninth prince? The gap will only widen in time. Meanwhile the eighth prince mocks Zhang with a set of nobodies, saying he's an embarrassment and be careful of getting squashed by the stone. When he passes Ningshang, she tells him he shouldn't have attended and won't be able to even lift a 100 kilograms. "And you'll bring shame to your mother, concubine Lin."
Zhang responds, "You may be talented, but that doesn't mean you can denigrate others." She replied, "Take care. She thinks I only advise you because of the good times we had as children."
Zhang stands next to the smallest stone tray. The people call him a good-for-nothing. Qin says, "With your current ability that won't be all right."
Zhang then walks towards the largest stone tray. The people say he's overestimating himself and he's crazy.
The eighth prince says Zhang won't be able to lift it even if he trained for another 30 years, while Ningshang slaps her head. With a powerful stomp the stone tray jumps. The people says he's asking for death. Zhang catches it with one hand. The people say he must have been concealing his power. The eighth prince is shocked. Ningshang thinks he was hiding his strength to humiliate her, as if the world evolves around her. A old guy announced the second round, which will be hunting at King's Mountain. It's dangerous, so spots are limited to only those who lift the heaviest stone tray. A girl tells Zhang to be careful, because she's his rival. She is the ninth princess Zhang Yuxi. She reveals the eighth prince tried to copy Zhang. But the stone tray fell on his foot. It was embarrassing. Everyone is given 5 arrows. Thunder arrows are used to kill first-level savage beasts. The stronger the beast, the better the performance. Only warriors who kill savage beast are eligible for the next round. The martial arts competition, King Mount, is filled with danger. So they might lose their life. The old guy warns them to escape if they encounter a second-level savage beast. The hunting competition begins now. Ningshang rides a antelope and says, "Cousin, the power assessment was not my specialty. I will show you my true strength now. I hope you can keep up." Yuxi exclaims she'll go ahead too. Zhang spots a lightning rabbit. It's fast and has weak defenses. It's the perfect prey. But it's a savage beast below the first level. It's not worth using an arrow for. A arrow then electrocutes the beast. Zhang noticed the sixth prince,
who yells, "Ninth brother, are you afraid of killing the savage beasts? You'll need more courage to be a man." He departs and advises Zhang to hurry his steps. Having 5 arrows doesn't mean you'll catch 5 beasts. Ninth brother, make sure you don't return empty-handed. Zhang listens and decides to speed up the hunt. Zhang followed the directions. He had heard bull noises. Zhang noticed Yushi confronting 3 bulls. Yushi exclaims, "Ninth brother, you're a bit late.
These 2 savage bulls are mine." She fires an arrow and electrocutes the bull. Zhang thinks Yuxi is really strong. Yuxi finished off the others. Then reveals that her arrow technique is at the inferior class of the human stage. And she's completely mastered it. At that moment Zhang noticed bubbles from the river.
Zhang yells, "Ninth sister, watch out." Suddenly a bull leaps out of the river and hits Yuxi's antelope.
She's knocked off and falls to the ground. Yuxi thinks it's going to trample me.